Hi, good morning everyone. Good morning, Prof. Nenden. I'm Wenda Kakerissa, and this is my research-based paper entitled A Study on Students' Needs Analysis in Learning General English German Education Study Program. Here is the outline of my presentation. I will be talking about burning issues, purpose of the study, research methodology, findings, conclusion, and the last one is recommendation. So the burning issues. Talking about needs analysis means talking about a continuous thing that will be ended by creating a product or at least something that is really needed by the students. It is never ending issues. The purpose of my study is to investigate the students' needs analysis in learning general English in German Education Study Program, Patimura University, Ambon. So here are some theoretical perspectives. The first one is the same tone with Brown. Mehmet mentioned that the needs analysis is an important means of conducting research prior to designing and evaluating lessons or materials or syllabus. Even Richard opined that needs analysis assists to draw a profile of students or course in order to determine and prioritize the needs for which students require English. Sweat opined that a need analysis is related to the notional functional approach with the purpose to achieve the following goals and also to understand the main notion while communication. Even Yalden opined that it is also to be able to use language as a functional issue while requesting, telling, describing, enumerating, explaining, and etc. Thus, it is inferred that a need analysis is very effective in evaluating students' needs in relation to English for the academic, specific, and general purposes. Next is previous related research report. Well, actually, a very related research report done previously is a study on students' needs analysis by Destianingsih and Satria. They are lecturers of State Polytechnic of Bengkalis State Polytechnic in Bengkalis, and the aim of their study was to investigate students' needs in using web-based English learning materials at State Polytechnic of Bengkalis. Their focus was actually on the students' professional needs, their problems on learning materials, their language skills and tasks, preferred learning style and teaching methods, and the suggestions for better English learning strategies. And it was a descriptive analytical approach. Well, here are the findings of their study. The first one is the students need to learn English primarily by using web-based English learning materials. The second, their difficulties or problems in learning process could be solved then. The third, the students were at the beginner level. That is why they wanted to have various learning topics in learning English using website, such as the topics related to daily life, science and technology, and about teenagers' life. The next is in learning activities for skills, the students prefer to practice the dialogue in pairs for speaking skill, complete jumble sentences for writing skill, identify key words of the monologue or dialogue for listening, listen to music for vocabulary learning activities, and identify grammar error in sentences and write sentences or paragraphs based on the grammar that ever learned for grammar learning activities. So this is about my study. My thesis statement is the study on students' needs analysis on general English for German education study program in Patimura University, Ambon is considered imperative to be conducted. And my statement of the problem is by investigating students' needs or necessities, that is for Brown, he calls it as priority, lacks or difficulties or problems, perceptions or attitude, and wants and needs or solution. I, as the researcher, am later plan to create a fit and fixed textbook based on their needs that hopefully can assist me in teaching my students. I only have one research question, that is, what are students' needs and expectations in learning general English in German education study program Patimura University? And my scope of the study is focusing only on the students' necessities, problems, perceptions, and wants and needs, as I told you before, in learning general English in that study program. So the significance of the study, hopefully this study will be a starting point as well as a reference for me as the researcher to create a fit and fixed textbook based on students' needs. And the second significance is the result of the study hopefully can be a reference also to improve or revise the old textbook. And here is some definition of terms that I must explain a little bit in conducting my study. The first one is necessities, the second is lacks, the third is perceptions, and the fourth is wants. So what I mean by necessities here is they are determined by the demand of the target situation, that is what the learners has to know in order to function effectively in the target situation. While lacks means problems, difficulties that are being experienced by the target group, in this case students of German education study program, focusing only on 4 skills in learning English. And the third perception here refer to how is the student's opinion on the importance of learning pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar and tenses. And the last ones here refer to what does the target group wish to learn and to be treated in the classroom. So let's talk about my method in conducting this study. A descriptive survey was needed to conduct the study, exploring students' needs and expectation. And the study used questionnaire and interview via phone. There are 20 items in the questionnaire that should be answered by the respondents. So item number 1 to number 4 explore the students' necessities. Item number 5 to number 8 explore students' lacks, difficulties, or problems. Item number 9 to 11 explore students' perception on the importance of learning pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar and tenses. Item number 12 to 20 explore students' wants and needs. And the questionnaire was distributed for 17 respondents of German Education Study Program students the fourth semester via WhatsApp group. Yet only 13 came back to me as the researcher. Here is the procedure of the study. The first one is the 17 respondents were aware of the purpose of the study, and their approval in participating in the study was confirmed via WhatsApp group. The second is the questionnaire was written in Indonesian or in Bahasa Indonesia, including the instruction, and distributed to the respondents on Thursday, April the 16th, 2020, and then collected during 10 days via WhatsApp group. But actually, there were only 13 respondents who gave the questionnaire back to me. 4 respondents were contacted via phone. And the third procedure is the researcher did interview only for certain respondents just to make sure that they were not misleading in answering the questions. The next procedure is the data was transcribed to be analyzed, and the last one is report the result of the study. Next is about how I analyze the data. So I analyze the data manually since the number of the respondents were below 50. After 13 respondents submitted their questionnaire via WhatsApp group, and some respondents, including the rest 4, were interviewed by me, then the data was analyzed manually. Every item was analyzed and calculated, and then some of them were converted into percentage, and at last the result was shown. The highest percentage is automatically 100%. For instance, item number 11, for instance, it was exploring about students' perception on the importance of learning grammar and tenses, right? There were 15 respondents perceived that it is important. Therefore, the calculation was as follows. So as you can see in my slide, I calculated just like this. So it should be 15 respondents divided 17 times 100 equals 94.1%. So that is the way how I calculated and analyzed the data. So here is my findings and the discussion. The first one is the top. I found that the topic that the respondents need the most is daily life. Second, items text is most needed. The third, they need to learn about public speaking skill and learning how to write a CV or curriculum vitae in English. Number 4, the basis problem that the respondents faced when learning 4 skills in English is lack of vocabulary. Number 5, learning about pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar and tenses is perceived important for them. Number 6, respondents prefer to learn grammar structure first and then create sentences based on the structure that already learned before. And the next is respondents want the lecturer to provide a list of vocabulary started from the easiest to the difficult, starting from the easiest to the the most difficult one completed with the meaning, synonym, the antonym that then assist them to create sentences. The next finding is students prefer to be corrected when they mispronounce a word after they done their presentation. Next is speaking activity that the learners need the most is role play. The next finding is listening activity that the learners need the most is filling or completing some words that are omitted in purpose by the lecturer during listening to a song, a poem, a short story via CD or tape recorder. The next finding is reading activity that the participants need the most is lecturer gives a text that really fits their interest. The next finding is students like free writing for writing activity. And the next finding is students also prefer to study in group consist of 3 to 5 people. And the last finding is the textbook that makes the respondents interested and stimulates their learning enthusiasm is a textbook that is full with images and colors. So here is the conclusion. So based on the students' necessities, problems they face, their perception on pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar and tenses, as well as their wants and needs, therefore, a fit and fixed textbook based on their needs can be created to be used in the classroom as learning material. And this is the recommendation. A further research focusing on another category of questions in a questionnaire such as abilities, for example, could be done also to investigate about students' need. Even a curriculum developer might conduct the same research using different types of instruments to improve or to revise the old curriculum. So here are the references I used in conducting my study. You may see by yourself. So thank you so much. I'm Wenda Marlene Kakerissa. Goodbye.